In this video, I'm going to show you my workflow for creating a track or part of a track in Digitone. It's very, very easy. It's just a method. But first of all, I go into setup and I reduce the octaves by 2, just from the fact I like a nice bass sound to start off with. And then what I'll do is I'll make sure the filter always follows the keys. You don't have to do that, but I just my favorite thing, and I make sure it does it 100%, so that I've got consistency in my track. And I think probably if you've watched any other videos, you'll probably know that I like the arpeggiator as well. So I've effectively got a bit of a beat going there. Now that beat might end up being on the arpeggiator, it might end up just being a drum, but in this case I'm going to put it onto the arpeggiator, and all I've done is increase the volume. So you can see at this very early stage I've got a little bit of a beat going, although it's only on one track. And you can go back and visit that beat, put some more drive on it as well, and now you can start to hear the track to develop. So what I'll do next then is I'll go in there and I'll go into the trig and make it 16. So it's actually, a full keyboard width of notes. You don't have to have the 4 beats on the keyboard, but it's just what you prefer to do. You could even record something in live. So straight into the old arpeggiator, switch it on, and now we've got multiple beats, but the trick here comes in just to manipulate some of the octaves, some of the notes themselves. That doesn't sound too bad actually, so do I just leave it as it is? You can go back into it later on. So I've got a slight variation there. I've put a couple more notes in as well. So you've actually got a melody going. So the next step for me is to go into there and choose a kick. I tend to make a mess of this at the start of all, but that kick doesn't sound too bad. You can even make your own kicks if you want. So now you've started with just 2 tracks. What's the next? Hi-hat next, I think. Yes, let's try and find a hi-hat. Some quite nice hi-hats on here. And you can just hear that away. You can increase the volume, you can change it. You make it into a screaming beat if you want. But you can hear now we've actually started, a track, started some music. And I'm just increasing the volume of the hi-hat because I like the hi-hat to be, noticeable and not dominant, but just so people know it's there. So you've actually got the flavour of a tune. I love to throw a bit of delay on it and some reverb. Now at this stage, it depends what you do with the 4th track. You could actually just leave things as they are, or you could just start to add some sounds. And at this stage, this is when I start to experiment and develop how I develop a track. And when you think we've only been doing this for maybe 2.5, 3 minutes, we've got a nice bass, and you could actually just save this and then almost start all over again, start to add tracks in, start to add beats in. Now that's an interesting sound. It's probably not what I'd call suitable, but let's get something else in there. That's not a bad one single sound, but let's try again. And that's a very, very low sounding beat. But you can play about with it. You can increase the volume on it, you can increase the drive, you can open the envelope. So you can see by experimenting there. Now what you could do with this is on for pattern 1, just have the drum. On pattern 2, you can bring in sound 3. Pattern 3, bring up another sound, and 4. So you're actually starting to do a build-up. And that effectively is my workflow, because it's something that you can save as you work along and you can go on and develop. And this is what I'm going to continue to do through the rest of the track, where I just experiment, because I've got a nice beat going and I haven't really put too much development into it. I've just actually gone with the flow. Now what I've done here, just so you know, I've actually changed that into basically all the beats there. You've actually got 16 bars there, and then you can start to experiment even further. Sometimes the experiment doesn't go to plan, and sometimes the sounds you choose are terrible, but you can always go back to them, but always save it as you go along there. For the rest of the video, I continue to experiment, and I add some sounds in, I take some sounds out, but basically this is my full workflow on the Digitone. It's slightly different on the Syntakt, But don't be afraid of, increasing volume, increasing attack, increasing delay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please subscribe for more videos. Thank you.